Let's move to the voicemails. And actually, our first voicemail is a video voicemail responding to my plea. Thank you, Ryan Ozawa, host of The Transmission, the Lost podcast, very famous Lost podcast. And so we're very happy to have his thoughts on yesterday's show. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey, TNT crew, it's Ryan on the beach in Honolulu. Just thought I'd respond to yesterday's show when you talked about the plan to force FM receivers into every gadget. I agree it sounds ridiculous, but I thought Darren had a great point. It was good for emergency communications. Tom said we all had text messages now, but I think it doesn't compare. I mean, radios are cheap. The hardware is cheap. The signal is free. It's universal. I mean, it doesn't matter what carrier you're on for a radio. There's no capacity limits. A single tower can serve an entire city, not true of cellular networks, and the infrastructure is simple to get up in case of a real emergency. In fact, a government can have a radio station just as easily as a pirate. What I love is that it's beautifully analog and universal. A radio made in 1980 still works just as well as one made today, and that's certainly not true of cell phones. Yes, forcing FM receivers is a bad idea to save a dying industry, but I, for one, think it would be a good idea in this data-driven age if we all had radio receivers in our pockets just in case. Mahalo.
You mean an emergency, like a tsunami coming in right behind you?
Hey, now. You know, I thought he was floating, so I emailed him. I was like, he's like, no, I'm just standing on the beach. It's the image stabilization that I think
he's right in front of the Halekulani Hotel. Did you see the stand-up paddler right behind him and the diver?
Didn't recognize it.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
Diamond Head in the background. He makes a great point. I tend to agree.
Yeah, if you could get past the fact that you're like, I want to be there right now.
Yeah, for those of you who weren't watching, he's in Hawaii on the beach, just kind of checking.
They could hear the surf in the background, I'm sure.
But it is a great point. And I mean, I don't trust text messaging in an emergency at all. I don't have any faith that that will be ubiquitous communication.
Well, I guess my point, and that's a very good point, I'm glad Ryan made it, is that forcing FM radios onto phones, well, if you have a phone, you have access to text messaging. But I guess what he's saying is, well, then you have some redundancy of some analog equipment. I mean, radio transmission towers are probably less likely to get blown down than all of the cell towers. But cell towers are more responsive. Radio tower goes down, you can spring up a bunch of cell towers like they did at Katrina a lot faster than rebuilding a radio tower. So I think redundancy is the key here. I still don't think that is a big enough concern to legislate FM radios into phones. In fact, why wouldn't you legislate AM radios with just an emergency frequency into phones? It's not why they're doing it, but it's a good point, Ryan.
Now, if you will recall yesterday, we had our friend Ryan from Hawaii who came on and did a great video.
Gorgeous video.
It was about FM tuners in cell phones, and it was really good looking. So while that was happening, someone took a photo of him from the beach where he was at. Look at this. It is unbelievable. The photo, here it comes.
It's a rainbow, man.
Dude,
it's over Ryan, man.
Whoa, he's like the pot of gold at the end of the... What does it mean?
Hey, you know what we've done now on this show? Double rainbow illusions.
Oh, no. Yeah. Bananas and rainbows all coming together.
I'm serious. I'm just like, really? So Ryan couldn't have got that rainbow in the background of his shot somehow, and we wouldn't have heard a word he said at that point. But as it was, with the beach and the waves, if he had somehow been able to angle it up and get the rainbow, that would have been freaking awesome.
You know, you're such a producer. He had Diamond Head and a stand-up paddleboarder in the background, and Tom's like, yeah, but he didn't get the rainbow.
He didn't have the Moana Surf Rider Hotel in the background. He could have at least gotten the rainbow. No, it was brilliant though, and that's a great picture. And of course Ryan liked it. I found it off Ryan's email because he was like, "Look, it was a fellow geek who caught me being geeky." And they have a great geek community on Oahu. I got to say, there's some good folks out there.